Everybody deserves to live a full and complete life with all the opportunities afforded to them in a country as great as Australia. But what happens if you're not afforded those opportunities and you fall through the cracks? Are we born this way? Or are we destined to be a burden on society? Erik Erikson's theory on human development states that between infancy and adolescence, to live a full and complete life, one needs to have experienced in the same period trust, competence, independence, social relationships, and being given the opportunity to explore and play. On the flip side of that, if your emotional needs had not been met and your development had not been provided for, and you experience what I term source fracture experiences, your source, the very essence of who you are, gets fractured, causing you to experience limiting beliefs, fear, anxiety, feelings of not being good enough, and you may be concerned with what others think of you. My challenge was I had poor role models. Both my parents suffered from generational trauma and mental health issues. I missed over 50% of my schooling. From 4 to 16, to stay home and care for my paranoid schizophrenic mother. Not having one friend in that time. I've invested over 3,500 hours in therapy and personal development programs across 13 modalities, if not more. That's over 80 weeks full-time working on myself. And nothing worked. I realised that you can't give what you don't have. You can't receive what you don't know, no matter how much I wish it, and God did I wish it, or others hoped that it would happen. I was a great candidate for therapy. They could see me coming miles away. I was sick and tired of healing trauma and still not knowing what to do. So I was great at surviving. The problem was I had no clue, none, on how to live. I never had lived, and no one had ever shown me how to live. Until I stopped and looked at all of me, nothing could change. Nothing. That's the reason I created the 10 elements of transformational healing. I've just added this in. I just would like to ask the sisters in the room to acknowledge my mother. She's on the cover. It's on the cover of my book at a funeral of my sister that my father killed. And then she took the blame for, because she was too scared. I've written my book in 3 parts. The first part is about my early developmental years, and I detail my source fracture experiences and the meaning I gave those experiences. The second part looks at how I struggled to navigate adult life and all the messiness that comes with that. And I share my source fracture impacts. And the third part is the 10 elements of transformational healing, which I wrote to support me to find my way home. The first 3 elements are the most critical. In the first element, we look at your source fracture experiences in your early developmental years between infancy and adolescence in detail. The second element, we look at the meaning that you gave those experiences. And the third part is the effect, and most critical, the effect the meaning has had on every area of your life, including your personal relationships, with your partner, with your children, with your career, We even look at the effect the meaning has had on what it is that you're passionate about. This is the incredibly profound self-awareness piece. It takes tremendous courage to explore the first three elements. The remaining elements, 4 through to 10, is the roadmap to learn, rebuild, heal, and transform what you find in the first three elements. Now imagine being at the top of your corporate career, securing a $15 million contract for one organisation and growing revenue by $25 million at high margin in another. Then your first organisation cuts your bonus value without your input and after you've secured the contract. And the second one wants to change your bonus structure and they don't want your input. So I went from the top of my corporate career to becoming angry, pissed off and disillusioned. 6 months later, I'm fired and the cracks started to appear in my life. And in the second organisation, I can't believe I did this. I still can't believe I did this. Get this. I resigned from a role that I was absolutely passionate about. I loved their purpose. I loved what they did. I loved the people, the industry. I resigned because I couldn't handle how that conversation made me feel. I felt I was no longer valued or appreciated. So 6 weeks later, I was gone. Now, both these roles were over 180,000 packages. Now, here's the thing. A meaning I gave a source fracture experience when I was 16 years old created my relationship to money, which affected how I reacted in both these situations. Now, imagine being able to turn businesses around for others. Pretty cool skill set, right? Doubling profit by 450,000 in one organisation, and then taking another organisation from losing $1 million per annum to break even within a 12-month period. Builds confidence, builds capability, builds courage. So you go and ask for a redundancy, you take your $100,000 payout, and you go and start your own business and create your own wealth for your own family. Pretty cool, right? And then I failed miserably. This is what happened to me. Not realising a meaning I gave a source fracture experience, this time when I was 15 years old, subconsciously sabotaged my efforts, my ability to ask for support. It felt like someone had placed an invisible force field around me that I just couldn't penetrate, activating my limiting belief. From the most horrific, traumatic, soul-destroying day of my life, when I was 15 and a half years old. But I wasn't able to see it at the time. What I discovered was, if I was invited in or asked, now that's a hint for all of you, I thrived. My nervous system felt safe, empowered, encouraged. I achieved some incredible results from where I came from. If I was not invited in or asked, I struggled severely. My nervous system would go into overdrive with fear, anxiety, and overwhelm. You might know that as fight, flight, or freeze. I would feel like that little boy who missed half his school life to care for a paranoid schizophrenic, sitting in the classroom being terrified, feeling like I don't belong, feeling I've got nothing to offer, and scared if someone had asked me something because I have nothing to give. Nothing. My life changed after I completed the 10 elements of transformational healing. I learned how to love myself for the first time. I rebuilt my missing development around communication skills and healthy personal boundaries. I healed my source fracture experiences. I now understand and have the tools to neutralise my trauma, my triggers to my trauma, so I can respond to life rather than react like I did in those 2 roles and with my marriage and my family. We are not born this way. If you weren't given what you needed to live a full and complete life, you can't give what you don't have. You can't receive what you don't know, no matter how much you wish it or others hoped that it would happen. That's the reason I wrote my book, to help someone find their way home as well. If you'd like to know more, or you think my book or programs, because I do run programs called the 10 Elements of Transformational Healing, please come and say hello. My name's Eugene Pizzolato. Thank you for listening.